Hello everyone, just going to be another ASMR video, I guess. This one I've been asked to talk about the story of how I proposed to my fiancée. I think in previous videos I've referred to her as my girlfriend, but she's actually been my fiancée for a few weeks now. And I just have grown used to calling her my girlfriend, so I forget to call her my fiancée sometimes. Anyways, we're keeping some of the stuff from the proposal in this box right now. It's just until we get a nice shadow box that she likes to keep it from getting damaged, because it's somewhat fragile. So, I guess I'll commence with the story. We've been sort of talking about it for a while, and so she sort of knew that it was coming, but I'd been trying to be slightly evasive and make it something of a surprise. So I'd been at my house for the past few days and hadn't really seen her because I'd been working on figuring out everything for it and making the components that I'll show you later. But anyway, so I told her though that I would meet her on that day, and so I was working at my house, having some trouble. I ended up proposing using origami as one of the things. So all this stuff in here I'll show you and go into more detail later, but it's not quite as pretty as I'd hoped, but this was one of the things that was taking a long time. It's supposed to be a origami corgi. Hopefully you can see it. Anyways, so I'd been working on that, and called her father earlier in the day to get his approval, which I got, so that was good. And then I was going to head up to go up to her house, and I planned to put the stuff on the back of her car and then say, okay, now you can come down, and then she'd see it when she went out to get to her car. But as I was driving up there, I stopped at a light, because you don't want to read text messages while you're actually driving. Got a text message from her saying that she was at her mom's, which is a different place. So I drove over there and drove around for a little bit looking for her car and didn't find it, and parked somewhere and texted her back, so you're at your mom's? And she told me that no, she had in fact moved on from there and had gone over to a nearby park. And, so I said, okay, stay there, I'll come and meet you. Drove over to the park, and, found the correct parking lot thing for the park, because it's a relatively big park, so they've got a couple different parking lots. And then went out, said hi, and then told her to go to the front of the car and close her eyes. And then I set all this stuff up on the back of the car and told her to come back over. And she was very excited. Very excited, possibly concerning a couple of the other people who were in the park at the time, but it was all good. So I asked her, got down on one knee and stuff. She accepted, and we're engaged, so that's that. I guess I'll show you some of the stuff. Let's say first off, it'll be a little bit hard because there's not all that much room on that now. But let's see here, I'm decorating out Marry Me, origami, so there's an M, an A, there's one of the R's, there's the other R. here's the Y in silver. I ran out of other reddish colored things. And then I did the second M and the E, which looks considerably like an M if I turn it this way. It's actually supposed to be like this for me, I think. Or is it this way? No, it's this way. I have it backwards. So yeah, leave those out in origami letters. And then we'd discussed before like pets that we wanted to get. And, I need to get 2 cats. So here are 2 cats. And then I showed you the corgi already, but probably our favorite dog type is a corgi, so we plan to get a corgi or 2. So here are a couple of corgis. We've got one that's bigger, one that's smaller. They were a lot of the reason that this took so long. The cats weren't too difficult to do, but this corgi in particular took me a long time, and the tail actually still isn't right. It's not the prettiest tail in the world. This one was much easier, but it looks slightly less corgi-ish somehow to me. And we've got this ring. There's actually a sort of a slot back here. I don't know how well you can see it there, but I actually had the ring in there. I put both rings in here. And one of the reasons that I made the paper heart ring thing was that a lot of times when we've gone out to eat at fast food restaurants, she'll take the wrapper from the straw and tie it around my finger and say that she's given me a ring, so I've gotten like 50 rings or whatever, and she's only gotten the one. But I think that her ring maybe is a little bit more valuable than my rings. And then there's also just a flower on pretty Asian paper. She's liked the flowers. And I'll go ahead and show you the ring. Here it is. It's actually 2 parts. This is the part that's the engagement ring. There's a pretty little flower. Wedding band, which doesn't wear normally, so it sits in this box. It's this. They go together. I think it's like that. Yeah, that seems right. So it ends up looking like that. And yeah, so that's my story of my proposal to my fiance, not actually girlfriend, despite what I call her sometimes. Alright, so yeah, that's it. We'll eventually have these put into a shadow box of some kind, but for now they live in this box to try and protect them as much as we can. So I hope you've enjoyed this. That'll be it. Hope you all have a good day.